So what do we all think? What do we all think of the new intro? Fantastic. OBH, what a brilliant piece of art that you've created for ourselves. Of course, it is Thursday night. It is the Third and Long podcast. My name's Shane Harris. Aboard this beautiful football ship that we have, the usual motley crew, Oliver Butler-Henderson, Ollie Hope, my old buddy, Mr. Philip Perrins, and we have a guest aboard the ship this week. But give me 2 seconds while I shout out my friends in Defects for lending us one of their songs, Dream Awake, fantastic song. The new album, Modern Era, is out tomorrow. Pick it up. It's on Spotify, everywhere you get your musical fix. Pick it up. They're great boys, great band. Gentlemen, what's going on? How's it going on this fine Thursday evening?
Very good, thank you very much. Shall we introduce our specialist guest in the bottom right corner there, Mr. Bears International Fan of the Year, James Gowers. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Pleasure, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm never going to get tired of listening to that title. I still can't believe it now, and it's something I'm going to wine and dine out on for months to come. It is cool, man. It is cool.
Mate, I think we're all jealous that A, you got out there, and B, you managed to you are fan of the year, but we'll give you your 30 seconds fame in a minute, mate. But
Callum has come in saying lovely intro, and then three clapping emojis.
Thank you, Callum.
Thank you very much, Callum.
As always, let's start with the news in 60.
This is the news in 60.
One of these days I will get it in 60 seconds. So obviously, we had James at Detroit in 2024. We got Green Bay next year in 2025. Pittsburgh a hold in the 2026 draft in Steel City under the lights. That is going to be pretty spectacular. Devontae Parker has surprisingly retired from the NFL after 9 seasons playing for the Dolphins and the Pittsburghs. He didn't want to fantasy trying to block for Jalen Hurts anymore, so he gave that one up. Madden have said they are dropping, no, not Madden, EA Sports said they are dropping the college NFL 25 game out on July the 19th. You can now pre-order.
I feel like we've been waiting for that for like 10 years.
Oh, mate, I can't wait for that. It's going to be epic. And the Eagles are replacing Devontae Parker with Jonathan Ross on a 1-year deal. And that is the news in 60. And I did it in 60 seconds.
Yeah, well done, boy. Good job.
Been a running joke for the last 4 or 5 weeks since we've been doing that I've not been able to do that.
It's been a quiet week.
This is the first time I've done it. But yeah, as we said earlier on, down in the bottom left-hand corner is Chicago Bears International Fan of the Year, Mr. James Gowers. We're officially welcome to the show and thank you for joining us today. How are you, young man?
I am very well, sir. No, thanks once again for having me on. You know, I love absolutely everything about the NFL. I love talking football, so it's great to connect with you guys. And yeah, looking forward to the show and what's to come.
You're more than welcome. Thank you very much. Let's remind him of how he got on in Detroit.
In that deal. So Bears with their final pick of this draft.
A Jack Seaborn jersey.
Hey, Bears fans, can you hear anything? Because I can't.
Oh, boy.
It is an honor and a privilege to be making this selection for the best team in the NFC North. The best team in the NFC. The best team in the NFL. The Bears.
Boy, he's going full Guy Ritchie here.
Shout out to all the UK Bears fans. With the 122nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, our Chicago Bears select Tory Taylor, punter, Iowa.
By the way, let me just say this. Once again, punters are weapons, too. This guy might have been the best.
I am surprised you left Detroit alive. And B, how many drinks did you had?
I promise you, I'd had none, because that was early in the morning over there. So the nights before, nights 1 and 2, I'd gone a bit too hard on the drinks. I'd kind of screamed my lungs off from the picks from especially night 1. So I thought, right, let's be a little bit sensible. So I don't know how I managed that without 0 alcohol, but I did it, and yeah, I've got to say I'm pretty proud of that.
James, I've got to ask this one question. I've got to ask this one question. Sorry, and Shane might be thinking the exact same thing as well. Have you ever watched like any form of like professional wrestling? Because like the heat that you got from that crowd, it was like listening to like Logan Paul or like Prime Triple H.
That was top heel work, top tier heel work.
Yeah. Flag off the, hey Detroit, you suck. Good job, bro.
Young Roddy Piper.
Honestly, it was absolutely phenomenal watching that back.
Phil,
big wrestling fan.
Saying, Mr. Parent, you have to go to school tomorrow, and I don't. Ha 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 ha. Unlucky. Your students are abusing you.
Well, he's in year 10, so he should be in school tomorrow. So if not, I'll be reporting it to his parents.
Did you say you are a wrestling fan there as well, James?
Yeah, big wrestling fan.
He's one of us. You can come again if you want. No worries.
Yeah. I'm so gutted because I can't make the wrestling event in Glasgow, but I went to Clash at the Castle. Unbelievable event. Did you boys go to that?
I went. Yeah. It was incredible. Yeah, I got a story about that, which I'll tell you another time, but it was amazing.
Excellent. No, but the thing is, I was absolutely gutted because night 2, you know, when they get like an ex-player or a celebrity to announce a pick. So the Buccaneers, it was meant to be Ric Flair. So I was so looking forward to having Ric Flair come out. But he wasn't there for some reason, so I was a little bit gutted about that. I've been waiting because the place would have gone mental with just a bunch of woo, all that kind of stuff. But no, I channeled the inner Ric Flair, who's one of my all-time favourites, and it's just I had nothing in my head. I was just going to go out there and do it, and I did it, and that's how it ended up. And it could have gone any which way. Luckily, it went quite well.
Are you getting yourself a Tory Taylor jersey?
I've already got one, mate. Already got it.
Wow.
It's already in my wardrobe over there. Yeah. So I said it. Right? Whoever I announce a pick for, I've got to get the jersey. Whether they're going to be a bust, whether they get cut in the off season, whatever. I was thinking, would it be a nice, future development piece in the secondary? Is it maybe a Hall of Fame pass rusher in the future? Maybe a nice offensive weapon. But when they told me that I was announcing a punter, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, you know what I mean? But I stuck with my guns, and big up to him. And it was kind of nice, a Brit announcing an Aussie there, obviously with the rivalry with the cricket and stuff. But I've got to double down with that now, haven't I?
When you said his name, I thought you said Corey Taylor. I was thinking of Slipknot knocked it on the head. Are you doing something else?
Well, what's the process like? Are you literally just like given a card with the name and the college and the position?
Yeah, mate, it's ridiculous. Like, you'd never get to go behind the scenes of the draft. So I was in like a little dark room. There was some nice beverages there, some refreshments, and I was next to Sketch, the streamer, the guy that's gone pretty viral recently, because he picked one after me. So I was having a chat with Sketch. I couldn't bring my phone or anything, so I would have got a picture of him. But yeah, literally, they've got all the picks coming through. I could see 4 or 5 picks before they're actually announced to the public, so I knew who was kind of being picked before. Then they literally just write his name on a card, hand it, off you go. So really simple like that. And my reaction was very funny when it was Tory Taylor that I was going to be reading out, because I think he's the second highest ever drafted punter ever. I think your guy at the 49ers was the first, but hopefully he's worth it.
Just be thankful it was an easy name to pronounce.
Oh mate, I was so scared about that. Once I saw that was a big relief for me. Nice and simple, settle the nerves a little bit, and the fact that I was being booed, it was really loud. It might not come across too well on the video, but it was really loud. Obviously, the Bears aren't very well liked by Detroit, but that allowed me to play up to it, and I wanted to have them in the palm of my hand. I wanted to have them on strings, and I do feel I achieved that. So that's what it's all about, isn't it? Especially over here with football and stuff, and the rivalries we have over there, it's kind of translate into that as well.
Oh my God, yeah. So what made you choose the Bears, and when did you become a Bears fan? And when did you start enjoying the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, for years, to be honest, mate, I've been regretting picking the Bears. We've had a terrible time. It's been rough. It's been horrible. Like all of you, that there's a or something that you choose, or it could be just completely random. We have no affiliation, but for me, I chose the.
Oh, we lost him. He's vanished.
Oh, that was a
did we offend him?
He's back. Hang on. We seem to have lost you
cut off there. I saw like the history of the two teams.
Oh.
I've warned Ollie about his line of questioning.
I know, it's got to be something like that. I mean, I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, this is lively recorded, so that's...
This is live TV, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, I don't know how it's going to sound when it goes live on the podcast in the morning, but... Going to be a bit interesting editing that in a bit. So hopefully,
so let's fill some dead air. So Phil, how are you? How have you been? Your hair looks nice.
Well, it is.
My back. You got me back.
Yeah, got you back.
Oh, no. So it's my time to shine. All right, continue. You're saying like the history of the Bears.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, apologies for that, boys. So saying about the history of the Bears, history of Spurs. Bears having like the most Hall of Famers, one of the oldest franchises. So I was kind of making those comparisons. I was never going to pick a red team, so sorry for you 49ers boys. They were always automatically off the list there. Same with the Cardinals, so on and so forth. I just kind of chose them, as simple as I know, like Ryan you had on the other week, he said he likes Lions. I like Bears, So it went on from then. About 10, 11 years ago now. As mentioned, I've had some really rough times, seen some tripe quarterbacks, but now I think the future's looking bright. Finally, that patience has paid off, and the future is exciting. Finally, but I'm not holding my breath because I'm used to that heartbreak and things going wrong.
Your offense is stacked this year with Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, Cole Kmet.
Yeah, it's unreal, and it's the first time in a while. So that depth that we've got, it feels like it's all finally coming together for the Bears. Our defense is pretty good. It kind of improved towards the back end of the last season. So it's just having that consistency. And it's all on Caleb. There's no kind of better situation that a rookie quarterback has gone into that I can remember. So he's got to start right from the get-go. And I believe...
no pressure,
That's it, man. But he's got the weapons there to do it. So no excuses, really.
I mean, it's not like you're going... Sorry, Ollie.
I was just saying, what do you think of Eberflus? Because I've been quite vocal on this podcast that I don't think he's that good a coach.
No, if I'm being truthful, we probably should have fired him. I get why we stuck with him because we did improve. We got his first season was 3 wins, second one was 7, so that's an obviously good improvement there. But he's not that inspiring, is he? He's not this young offensive mind that the league is sort of gearing up towards now, and. We'll see. I think this is really, really make or break. If he doesn't do too well, he's out of the door straight away. I'm surprised because our GM, Ryan Poles, is very, very good. And all of his decisions, apart from the Chase Claypool trade, have been very good. So we shall see. Fair enough. Happy to stick with him. Keep the same scheme, keep the same other, coaches that did well with him. But yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan that we kept him, but got to stick with him now.
I mean, like you said, with Justin Fields, you had 7 wins with him last season. How do you think about that era? You had 10 wins in the last 2 seasons. I can't remember what his first season was with him. How do you feel about that Justin Fields era? How, do you think you failed him like we failed Mac, or how do you think?
Fairly similar, I suppose. I mean, I absolutely love Justin Fields. I thought he was so fun to watch, He's got his issues. He holds onto the ball a little bit too long. Some of his decision making could be better. And if I'm honest with you, any other situation, if we didn't make that trade with the Panthers, Fields would still be on the Bears. It's only because we had that first pick that Ryan thought Poles was forced to play his hand. And I think Fields will do really, really well at the Steelers. They've just bulked up their O-line massively in the draft. And if they're solid, he will have that extra time to do what he wants. And then, if he misses his first read, he can then run, which we all know he's amazing at.
Yeah, Niners are about Justin Fields putting 9 of their defenders on the floor.
James, honestly, I'm so glad that we got a Bears fan on because I'm a big admirer of Justin Fields as well. But he has, with me, pissed on his chips by going those stupid towel-twirling horrible bastards, right? But... let's switch over to the other side of the ball. You've given us probably one of the players who, in my eyes, was born to be a Raven. I'm a huge fan of Roquan Smith. Honest to God, he's turning in. Between him and number 4, they're probably my favourite players on the Ravens. How did you feel when Roquan left you?
I remember I was in the car going to five-a-side football with my friends, and my mate in the back said Bears have traded Roquan Smith to the Ravens for, I think it was a second round pick, wasn't it? And I was like, oh no. I absolutely adored Roquan Smith. We drafted him. He is an absolute monster. He is he is what you see as a legendary Bear, and I think he could have got there. It's horrible to see him as a Raven. I'm glad he's in the AFC rather than in NFC, and we don't have to see him too much. But what an unbelievable player! What a leader as well.
He reminds you a lot of Ray Lewis, just without the allegations hanging over his head. But like I want Philip. There you go. Thank you. As I say, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I was so gutted.
What about Khalil Mack? What about were you gutted when you traded him?
Not as much with Khalil. He was good for us for one season. I remember his first game against Green Bay in Lambeau. He had like a strip sack. He scored a touchdown. He did it all. And he was really, really solid. But I think, were we right to get rid of him? Probably not. I mean, I wasn't as gutted for him because of his age and stuff, and he had a few injuries. But now I look at him and the Chargers, and he's done really well, hasn't he? His sack numbers have been right up there again. So although the Chargers had a bad season, didn't they, really? But he was certainly not a reason for that. He did his part. But, yeah, I'm not too heartbroken about that one. More so the Roquan one because of the age, because of how good he was, and because we obviously drafted him as well. So, don't miss Mac too much. But I did have his jersey. Did love him at the time.
Nice. Obviously, last time the Bears came over that I can remember top of my head was against the Raiders when we first used the Tottenham Stadium. You were there.
Yep.
Are you going to be there for the Jags game? And, what do you reckon the outcome's going to be for that one?
Yeah, so very, very, very lucky. So out of all the international fans of the year, I think I was the only one that got an additional trip. So the Bears told me, right, we're going to fly you out to Chicago as well. So I got to go to Hallis Hall, which is our training facility, got to meet the owner, got to meet our president. Our president gave me his business card.
That's incredible.
I'm real, mate. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to frame that, from my whole trip. And
Send it to us so we can use it.
Try and fleece us. Yeah. So, I was so incredibly lucky because Detroit and Chicago are so close that they said, it'd be a silly opportunity not, to miss out on. So, I got to go to all of those places. And, it was just incredible. And, just walking in the facility and seeing some of the players and bumping into them and chatting to them and going to, the canteen. But it was actually Jack Sanborn that throughout the whole sort of process he was the one that announced I was going to be the International Fan of the Year. He announced to me that I was going to be doing the pick on stage, and he also told me that they're going to be sorting me out with some tickets for the game in London, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm sure they'll be pretty decent tickets. I hope something like pitch side access or something.
They will be. I think the ones I'll be getting the cheapest available.
Yes,
you'll be watching in the TV in the pub outside or something.
As long as they serve Strongbow, I have no issue with that.
Yes, we know about you and Strongbow, no?
We do indeed.
Yeah, he only mentions it every podcast.
Yeah,
I know. Anyone's where you get a sponsorship deal.
Get off the train, literally walk to the first corner shop, buy 4 cans of Strongbow, and has to try and get a drink.
And they couldn't get.
I respect it. Is it dark fruit you go for, or is it original?
Dark fruit.
You say something before you upset. You better. I don't drink that purple nonsense.
Good. I was gonna call you out if you did. So no.
For God's sake, that's aimed towards kids. That is.
Purple nonsense.
You're a Spurs fan as well, aren't you?
Yeah, purple nonsense is kind of like the Ravens, isn't it?
We showed you last year, didn't we? So
which one of us made it to the Super Bowl? Just remind me.
Again, we showed you last year. It was fixed last year, and you know why. Anyway, let's not squabble. We have a guest on the show. Let's not squabble. Sorry, James. I believe my old buddy over there asked you if you're a Spurs fan.
Yes, I am indeed. So I'm lucky enough to have season tickets to Spurs. So I'm used to the area, used to the stadium.
Beautiful stadium.
I go there quite a lot. So if you can get tickets in the South Stand, that's the big one. I think that's really, really good. Travel.
Kelly.
Travel can be a bit of a go on, Kelly. It can be a bit of a nightmare. I'm sure you guys would have gone to the UK games before, but sometimes
we went.
It can be a bit of a nightmare, the travel. It's not the most accessible place, Spurs Stadium, but once you get in that stadium, how good is it? You might absolutely hate Tottenham, but
gorgeous,
it's great.
isn't it?
The first time I walked in, I just went, wow.
Yeah,
we did. Didn't we?
Yeah, me and Ollie sat together for the first game.
If they do sell out their seating allocation, there's more than enough room in their trophy cabinet. So.
Oh, that's a low blow. That our biggest trophy was Arsenal not winning the league, so I'm happy with that. But no, going back to the game, I think we can beat the Jags. Last time against the Raiders, it was a Raiders home game. This time it's a Bears home game. We're one of the most supported franchises in the UK. Going back to the '85 Bears when it was first sort of getting big over here. You think of Walter Payton and the Fridge and people like that. So there will be plenty of Bears fans. I'm so looking forward to even like the week building up to that. I'm going to be going to so many fan events, meeting up with fellow Bears fans, having a few beers, that kind of stuff, catching up with the tailgating gang over in America and the podcasts and all sorts of stuff. So I'm buzzing for that, and people might recognise me. So that's another reason to be excited about it.
I mean, being 6'5", they're definitely going to be able to see you, aren't they?
True.
Oh, there he is, not there.
There he is. Yeah.
Has Rich Eisen reached out to you yet? Because he was obsessed with you and your pick.
I know he hasn't, and I wish he had. He even did like a YouTube video after it of like his top 10 like sleeper picks in the draft, and Tory Taylor was one of them. And he mentioned me again, and he was saying this whole thing about an Englishman saying the word punter. I still don't get that. Do any of you guys get that?
No.
I don't really understand it. Is it the accent? Is it a reference to something?
I have no idea.
I don't know, but he seems to absolutely love it.
I watched it live, and I think he made reference to a movie, but I can't remember which one.
He said when he said Guy Ritchie's name, and we all know Guy Ritchie is obviously of Snatch and that Madonna film as well.
Yeah.
I didn't get those two mixed up, then, wouldn't I? Gee, I'm on form tonight. Mr. Perrins, how are you doing down there? You're awfully quiet.
He's
I realised I was trying to like interact, and then I realised that my mic was on mute. So like I was just asking a question. We said about punting. I literally just gave a reason for why the Americans think that use of punting was like a bit odd, but nobody could hear me. I went, oh, Ollie's just talking over me. What an absolute prick!
Standard. So the reason why they like the punting, give it away, Mr. Perrins.
Right, so like punting in the English language context, this is where I'm going to sound really pretentious, is when we go punting as Englishmen or Brits, or Shane out here, punting for us means that we're looking for a particular lady of the night.
Oh, okay.
When we
I thought you were going to go on about with a pole down the River Thames then.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
And maybe for some really weird reason.
I was thinking gambling. Have a punt maybe.
Yeah.
Or picking up a lady. That's literally.
I mean, I've seen you're in the fan pictures with Rome and Caleb. Did you actually get to have a speak to them? Did you speak to any players there at all during the weekend?
No, I didn't, unfortunately. It was pretty cool though to get into the selfies. I made sure because you have like the main super fans in that bear pit, and we were right near the front. So you have like the bear man and people like that. So I made sure I'm clambering over, I'm standing on chairs to get in these selfies, and it was mental. Like for a few days or so, the NFL like social media header was like this picture of Caleb and the Bears fans, and I was in it. So I was like on the header of the NFL account. So
Nice.
That was crazy.
And what is this?
Yeah, what's James doing from Milton Keynes in this picture? I have no business being there.
Is this my life sort of thing? Yeah.
Exactly, because I'm just a normal bloke. I don't have a social media following. I just entered a competition and here I am, and it was all kind of a blur and a whirlwind. But to be in those pictures, to be as part of that, the atmosphere was incredible. Like I'm never going to get something like that. I mean, with the 800,000 people that attended the draft, me to be 2 rows from the front, seeing Eminem right there, Roger Goodell, people like that. It was kind of like a pinch myself sort of moment at all times. But yeah, it was insane, absolutely. And there was no better year for me to be the International Fan of the Year, I believe. We had the number 1 and the number 9 picks, playing in London. I was the first ever one. Can't get better than that, can you?
No,
not at all.
Baby Hope?
So, I assume you have a lot of Bears merchandise. What's your favorite piece you have?
Ooh, question.
Oh, I spend a lot of money on it, and it's quite a bad obsession, really.
Addiction.
Yeah, it's quite bad.
I feel your pain.
Yeah,
We all do.
It's expensive, isn't it? We all know with the shipping fees and stuff.
Yeah.
I spent so much money sending my own jersey, sending it to America, getting it signed by Justin Fields to then get it sent back. So I had that on my wall, but I can't have that on there anymore.
That's the thing. See, with the NFL, you've got to be careful of whose jerseys you buy. You know, because I mean, my first Ravens jersey, believe it or not, now I've got a plethora. I've got plenty now. You know, Zay Flowers, Joe Flacco, Lamar Jackson, just to name a few. The first one I ever had was Ray Rice, and we all know what happened there. So yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's bad.
I'm gutted Debo's changed from 19 to 1 because on my wall I have a 19 signed Debo jersey.
As well.
And I'm wearing my 19 Debo jersey.
What a player! What a player, Debo.
It's Niners pajamas, that is.
I mean, obviously you say you've got your signed Bills jersey. I would still keep that up. You know, you've got a signed jersey that's been signed by the guy. Just keep it up. It's awesome, isn't it? It doesn't matter who it is. I've got a signed OC jersey, which needs to be put up at some point as well. So I'm not a Patriots fan, but you know, it's OC for crying out loud. It's our guy.
What a guy! What a guy! I mean, yes, I'll try and swap it for a Caleb jersey, but no, I get your point there. And you know, I spent I like all the cards as well, signed cards and the rookie cards as well. So once again, spending so much money on that, and probably again for the Caleb rookie cards and the Rome. So yeah, there's so many nice pieces that I've got, jackets and jerseys and hoodies and all sorts. You know, got to represent at all times. You know, I don't dress up as a human bear, but this is the next best thing for me.
It's funny, right? I was about this close to buying a signed Patrick Queen jersey. If I did buy it, it'd be in the fire long before now.
I mean, Mr. Parent has like 58,000 jerseys. How many have you got?
Yeah, I've got a load.
Have you?
Yeah, I think. I mean, Shane came to my house, and I showed you literally the collection itself, and I've got nearly, I think I've got well into the 30s of 49ers jerseys. I've got like a few, I've got like a Raiders, I've got a Drew Brees jersey, I did have a Tampa Bay Brady jersey before I sold it, and then I've just got like a load of college jerseys, but like I've got an insane amount of 49ers jerseys. I just collect them.
And a hockey jersey as well.
Yeah, and I've got a ice hockey jersey now as well. Like I said to my wife, like it's my addiction, but like, you know, it's better than like having, you know, an addiction to like heroin or meth. Like at least with my addiction, I can wear it and not be shamed in public, really. So you know.
Well, that's
I love it. Yeah, big respect there. I mean, I don't have that many in terms, but I've got about nearly 20-25 at the moment. All Bears. I love the retro ones, like that one you've got on. You know, I've got a Devin Hester, I've got a Walter Payton. They're just beautiful, the old ones. I love all the retro and the coats and the jackets and the stripy Zubas pants and it's just insane.
Have you got a pair of those pants?
Yes.
Have you? I want a pair of Zubas pants. I want to be like Lex Luger in 1994.
Oh,
throwback reference for you.
Like James, when you were saying earlier about like the history of like how you fell in love with like the Bears. Now I literally love like American football history. I've watched like all of America's games. I'm obsessed with like the whole period of the 80s up until like the mid-90s of like, you know, the NFL history, because that's when it really picked up and boomed internationally. And like my mom was in the RAF, and when she was over in Berlin, that's when she got into like American football, because she was serving with like a load of Americans, and it was America's team in the 80s. It was, you know, it was the Cowboys, and then my mom fell in love with like the Bears because so like my mom fell in love with the Cowboys, but then my dad got massively invested in like, you know, in the Raiders. So like when I started following it when I was quite young, and it was like the 49ers, and like, yeah, Steve Young was still one of the top quarterbacks, and I just absolutely just love that era of you know, the NFL. But basically what I'm trying to say is like, who do you think is Mr. Bear? You said like Walter Payton, that's kind of like a given, but like, who is your absolute ideal Chicago Bears player? Like one that you've not necessarily seen play live in like your lifetime, but like one that you've just seen clips of and just go, he is literally the man for me.
Well, Mitch Trubisky sprung instantly to mind.
Kissing titties!
It wasn't a bad call. When you were saying earlier about like some absolute dribble, I went going, I bet he's mentioned Mitch Trubisky at one point. But
Yeah,
Mitch was all right. Like, you literally survived Cutler.
Cutler was decent. He was all right. We'll take Cutler. But no, going back to your point, yeah, like you say, Walter Payton goes without saying. But we've even like Gale Sayers, Dick Butkus, who sadly passed away this season. What a guy! What a defensive weapon we had there. You know, your Brian Urlachers, Devin Hester. I absolutely love Devin Hester. Thank God he went into the Hall of Fame. There are so many sort of Bears elite kind of players. Richard Dent, Dan Hampton. We're sort of more kind of either our running game or our defense is what we're known for. Sadly not the quarterback position.
When we think about like 49ers, we think like our West Coast offense, like Jerry Rice, Montana, and like all that kind of stuff. Like the Bears, I always think about like, you know, Mongo, you know, playing on the line, or
of course.
You know he's my favorite horseman. Woo! Like,
of course he is. Like, we forget about
Mongo McMichael. I loved him, but like that's what I always think about, like how strong that linebacker and that defensive line, that 5-2 defense that they perfected in like the mid '80s. That was insane. I agree. Like that run game was like obviously with Walter Payton, but Jim McMahon was probably
he was iconic in his own right, wasn't he? You know, he was that kind of rebellious sort of
quarterback. The blind quarterback, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and he was kind of a bit, rebellious against the league and stuff. I can't remember in 1985 when the Bears won the Super Bowl. Who was that against? Does anyone know at all? What team was that?
The Patriots.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Look at this! You come on again if you want.
Yeah.
James, I do have a serious question. I don't know everything, but I know a lot. There's a couple of things about the NFL which I've never been sure on. When it comes to the Bears, they've got GSH on their sleeve. What does that mean? What does that stand for?
Yeah, so that is for our founder, our owner, George Stanley Halas. So that was his initials. So he was one of the founders of the NFL. You know, he founded the Decatur Staleys, which was our old team, and it now known as the Chicago Bears. So pioneer, he was our coach, he was our owner, he did it all. Statues are around everywhere of him, and we've got to pay homage to him. So always.
Thank you for that. The more you know.
Yeah. So. I know different teams have different kind of letterings on their sleeves, but that's our one. And that's the guy who founded us and you know, led us to loads of championships back in the 40s. You know, Bears dominated back then when we used to play at Wrigley Field as well.
Yeah, and everybody else was in the war and you lot were on the field. Yeah, I get it.
No one knew what's done then. You were playing against no one.
Love that. Have you seen the rendering for your new stadium? It looks spectacular. What do you think? Are you looking forward to going out there?
Yeah, insane. I'll level with you. You know, I've been to Soldier Field a couple of times, and it's probably one of the worst NFL stadiums. I love the history of it and the old pillars and stuff, but the actual stadium itself is pretty poor. It's a 60,000 capacity, and for the Bears, you know, one of the biggest cities in America, third biggest, that's not enough. The renderings look amazing, and I'm glad we're keeping it in Chicago. I know I have no affiliation; it means nothing to me being in the UK. But if I was if they decided Spurs was going to be upped and moved, I would hate that. So I'm really happy that they're keeping that and sort of keeping some of the history as well, but modernizing it at the same time, because you know a Super Bowl in Chicago is what we deserve as well. You know, having that event into the city, and that stadium, unreal, isn't it? It's going to cost a few billion. It's going to take some years, but you know, everything about the Bears is just so positive at the moment, and that sort of caps it all off as well. So really, really exciting times. Finally.
Yeah, being a 49ers fan, going out to San Francisco, getting to Levi Stadium in Santa Clara is a bit of a ball ache, to be honest.
Is it really?
I mean,
it's like an hour outside the city.
Mm-hmm.
Worst places to be, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know, so
ugliest stadium in the NFL that shadowed out.
Isn't that one thing though that we as Brits, especially with like our affiliation with like our football teams, like. I mean, it was only recently I was watching a documentary on the Dons and actually how they've become more or less like the most hated team in the country because of literally their ownership picking them up and then moving them to a completely different place. And in America, obviously, because it's a lot more vast and like, I mean, neither of the New York teams play in New York.
Nope.
San Francisco play in Santa Clara, and you know it's little things like that I guess that if it was in Britain we'd I mean even like Manchester is like Manchester United, Old Trafford is like in an industrial state on the outskirts of Manchester, but it's there. No, it's not me throwing shade. I mean, he was just smart.
You can't help it, can you? What I always say to you, hated, adored, never ignored. You've always got to mention that all the time.
Look, I just hate Man United over passion, and any chance I can get.
I know you do. Told him Fergie knew in your childhood. Told him before.
He did. He actually did. Like he did.
He actually did. How were
League title in '96, League title in '96, and FA Cup final in '99, and League Cup final last year, mate. Like literally, doesn't die. But like, I think that's like isn't towards the normality of modern sports. They kind of like move. I mean, just look at like the Raiders in particular. I mean, they popped probably the most out of any NFL team in history. Like in terms of like bouncing from like Oakland to LA to Oakland to LA to Nevada. Like,
yeah.
So think about like all the Oakland Raiders fans that actually watched them win Super Bowls in the 70s and the 80s. Now have to go to a completely different state if they want to go watch their team in the black hole.
Yeah.
So,
same as the Rams, isn't it? They've moved to and from LA and signed for San Diego. I feel sorry for these teams, these states, these cities where they've gone, you don't deserve NFL anymore, and move it thousands of miles away. I mean,
exactly. I mean, like, America has 50 states and only 32 NFL teams, and then some of those are in the same states. So there's such a big scope for, you know, we've talked about this before on the show about like expansion, but I do think you take quite a lot of that team's heart if you move them out of that city centre. I mean, like you said, like with Chicago, smack bang in the middle of Pittsburgh, smack bang there, Green Bay, smack bang there. You know, it takes a lot to take them out of the actual area that their fan base.
Especially these historic franchises, you know, it's a lot harder for them to be moved and budged. The funny thing you mentioned about the Raiders, though, one of my best mates is a Raiders fan, and he says, you know, they're playing the Rams and the Chargers this year, so he said that's 2 extra home games for them. So you know, swings and roundabouts. So you know,
yeah, the Chargers. I don't know why they bothered moving because they're never going to feel so fight ever.
It's a case of if you. Go on, go for it, sorry.
Niners refer to SoFi as Levi South because we always outnumber the Rams and Chargers fans.
Yeah, but like, how many times, like in the last couple of years, has that happened? Like when San Francisco are good, they are more or less the home team wherever they play in the country. It's just when we're bad that we just decide to go, not this year, maybe next year.
Boys, if you want to know why players move cities and players change teams and cities move, just watch the beginning of the film Basketball. It will explain everything to you.
One more question from us, James. We always ask our guests this: what is your fantasy football team name?
Oh, so I've had a couple of good ones.
Oh, you didn't want to tell us?
It's so good he's vanished.
So good, I'm not going to tell you. Good night.
Is that your way of telling us no? Go away.
Is that what you're telling us? So I can go to bed.
I've moved house recently, lads, so we still haven't got the Wi-Fi, so I'm on the 5G. I do apologise for that. I'm sorry about that. I was just about to say my couple of team names that I've had in the past. So you mentioned Khalil Mack earlier. So a good one I had was called Mack, Sack and Crack. Yeah, that's quite a good one, you know, because it's got the sack in it. But a couple of years ago as well, or just actually last year, I had Fields of Gold, like the famous song, but I had Gold as Robbie Gold, famous kicker, went on to the 49ers. I'm sure you loved him as well.
We know all about Robbie Gold, trust me.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. So I've got to think of a new one for this year. You know, I said to you at the start, Shane, I've got Zay Flowers, so my surname's Gowers.
Yes.
Gowers Flowers, something like that. What do we reckon?
Something like that, I don't know. I mean, answers on a postcard, answers in the comment section. What should James call his fantasy football team this year?
My partner's called her fantasy team. It's got to be May.
She's picked Drake May as well.
Yeah.
I'm still rolling with Purdy Little Liars.
I mean, mine's always been the Renegades. My old pool team, so it's always been a Renegades, or I might go back to the team I used to play for, which is Black Knight. So we'll see what happens on that one. James, it's an incredible pleasure having you on the show. Thank you very much for entertaining us this Thursday evening. And we wish you all the best of luck, and hopefully we'll catch up you for the international game when we're up in Tottenham.
Yeah, it'd be great to have a beer with you lads, or a strong.
We'll have a bowl, I expect. 100%.
Yeah, apologies once again for the internet, but no, absolute pleasure speaking with you. It's been really, really great, talking football, as we all love to do. So, yeah, have a good evening, chaps, and, see you in London.
See you later.
Cheers, James.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye now. As Kenny
What a nice bloke.
Top guest this week. That was fantastic. We've been incredibly lucky with the guys we've had on. We had Ryan a couple of weeks ago who was outstanding, and James was literally on the show that week going, I want to come on. I really want to come on. I mean, really nice guy. I mean, we've been incredibly lucky having both the international guys coming on the show, so incredibly happy. But we must roll on with the rest of this week's itinerary. Mr. Harris, over to the OTAs for you, my friend.
OTAs in 60, you say? I'll do what I can. So, notable omissions from the OTAs this week. Organised team activities, by the way, for anybody who didn't know what OTAs meant. I had to Google it this morning. So defensive tackle from the Steelers. Cam Hayward, he's absent. You can't really blame him. These OTA things are something of nothing, but I will do my due diligence as a broadcast journalist to inform everyone. And superstar Vikings wideout Justin Jefferson, absent as well. T. Higgins, absent as well. We don't know why. Is it the contract situation? No one knows. Who has Tua, Ollie's favourite. Tua has also been absent as well. And this is quite a big one for the Cowboys. C.D. Lamb, absent from OTAs as well this week. With people like that, are they concerned about getting injured? I mean, if it was me, God knows, the only exercise I get, jumping to conclusions, I'm no pro athlete, but mentality-wise, you want to be back in there, just to keep the momentum going. But yeah, he's out. Courtland Sutton, nope, no idea where he is. He didn't turn up either. Darius Slayton of the Giants, no sign of him either. And here is the notable admission, especially for these two on the show. Brandon Ayuk. Gentlemen, what do you think his game is?
Contract, 100%.
Yeah? Okay. I don't understand it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at Jefferson, C.D. Lamb, T. Higgins, they're all the same. They're all on a payday. So I think that's right there. I mean, McCaffrey and Jennings, I don't know, because I know they're also both absent. But Brandon Ayuk is definitely contract related.
Most definitely.
Not often you're wrong, baby, but you're right again.
I mean, I can't be all like Drake May and Javon Pollock and can't remember the other guy's name off the top of my head, who's staying 20 minutes, half an hour, pretty much each day with the three of them, just literally going out, working out. That's true class, them three. Sorry,
Mr. P was in.
No, I was just thinking, I don't think there's any ill will with the whole Christian McCaffrey thing, because when that hit on the 49ers socials and people were blowing up about it, Christian McCaffrey and Shanahan are ridiculously tight. They are, their fathers play together and work together. They've grown up together. I mean, it's come out with a story quite recently that it was actually Shanahan that bought Christian McCaffrey his first little bit of weed. They're really, really tight. So yeah, that's so I don't
you right there. Did you just say what I thought you said? Well, I'm not going to repeat
the weed. They're good kush, the ganj,
Yeah, so that's been out in 49ers law ever since he signed. So I'm not going to look too much into Christian McCaffrey. Not turning up. I think it might be something that would have just been agreed with the organization. I mean,
I swear he's getting married at the moment. I swear he's.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's just with that organization. So I mean, Juwan. I don't really know what's going on there, but Ayuk is. I'm genuinely surprised that we're going into this offseason with him still. Genuinely surprised. I thought we were. I didn't think we were going to trade Debo. Just because of just his stature on the team, his presence on the team, his personality on the team. I thought we were actually going to trade Ayuk, but whether or not the market was there, going into the draft. But I'm generally surprised we're going into the offseason with him.
Okay, well, yeah, that's it. That's the situation on on Ayuk in the Bay Area. Another OTA holdout is Dallas Cowboys superstar linebacker Micah Parsons. But according to our sources at NFL News, he will be back from Tuesday next week when they start doing media days and the little graphics before the games and stuff. Yeah, he should be there. Yes, Mr. P.
Yeah, hold on. Was it? Oh, I'm just going to hold my phone because the stand's not working. Was it with Micah Parsons that, again, just in the off-season, rumors were coming out that his teammates don't like him particularly much and he's quite insufferable and they're finding that he's grating on them? Was it Micah?
Me, I think it might be.
I haven't passed.
Yeah, no, I think it was. Yeah, like Ollie, do you remember this? Like, baby.
Yeah, and I noticed him and Stroud doing that little tour thing they did. He was very critical of the Cowboys, especially around their draft picks.
Yeah, he's being very vocal there. He wasn't happy how Dallas worked the draft. He's 3 years in the league now. He's going to be a 5-year. I think he wants out of Dallas. I generally do think he has out of Dallas.
Well, the next, I haven't finished yet. There's still more OTA gossip. You've got offensive tackle for the Bucks. Tristan Wirfs is holding out from OTAs as well. Again, I reckon that's contract related once again. It's a shame where the gift you've been given to play professional competitive football for a living and all you really care about is the money, And 2 little pieces of OTA news I want to finish off with. Eddie Pinheiro is holding out from the Panthers. I mean, read into that what you will. You're a kicker, but, there's many people that could do you a job. And the best site in OTAs at the moment, and yes, I am biased, and yes, this is coming from my purple and strong bow heart, is Derrick Henry playing in our number 22 in our glorious purple jersey. They are going to be unstoppable until injuries. There you go. I said it for you.
Just quickly. Let's just remember, this is OTAs. They are optional.
Yeah.
We're stretching. We're reaching for news this week. All right. Tell everyone.
Yeah, I mean, something that's just come in about 25 minutes ago. Marvin House Jr. signed his rookie deal with the Cardinals.
Eventually.
About time.
Has he signed his NFLPA deal yet? Because this is
I've not seen that yet as of yet.
That's just a story of him being. I'm not going to say a word, but.
We passed the watershed. You can swear. It's okay. Man won't find out.
Does it rhyme with Hunt?
It might.
Oh, okay. Let's not say that
one. Right. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on now, ladies and gentlemen.
So, Ollie, it was your quiz question this week. So,
yes. Before we even start, can I just say something, please, before we even start with this? Ollie, in all honesty, I have been watching your questions views grow since the second you put it out. Ladies and gentlemen, right? The amount of views on his question of the week pretty much dwarfs any football game from League 1 or below. Honest to God, from what I've seen, 3.1 thousand people watched our beloved OBH question the world this week, and for that, it is an incredible feat. Well done, my old buddy. That's class.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, Ollie, your question was: since 2010, which team have had the most playoff wins without winning a Super Bowl?
So we have had a few answers come in. Detroit, nope. Dallas, nope. Green Bay,
that's a good guess, man.
Nope. There was obviously the people came with like New England. They have won Super Bowls and obviously had New York between the two of them. But do the gentleman to my right want to give me the answer on this one?
You are such a
you guys just can't not talk about the Niners. A couple of weeks ago, the answer was the Niners. This time the answer is the Niners.
I can't believe you've done it. I was like, you serious?
I'm on next week. I'm going to cook up something which is going to take both the Patriots and the Ravens down.
So
I haven't said anything.
They've had 13 wins in the last 13 years. They've reached the big game 3 times, is it?
Yeah.
And they've reached the NFC Championship bye times, yet to add to their elusive 5 rings.
I'm sure Metallica wrote a song about the Niners. It's called King Nothing.
I mean, their new entrance when they come in, the players come in, is written by a UK band.
Yeah,
It's called Red and Gold.
Red and Gold
by a UK band, yeah, which I think is pretty cool. Actually, I really do like.
It's a song I really like.
Should be Kate Bush.
It's
been Kate Bush running down that hill. Very good.
I believe is that not running up the hill?
What the hell? He's awake again, is he? Supposed to wake? He's been all week.
Yeah. So as Ollie said, it is his turn to do the question next week. Let's bring it on, Ollie. Bring it on. I'm waiting for you to roast us. Please roast us like Tom Brady got done a few weeks ago.
All right, let's not. You cabbage got a heart. Let's not go that far, like.
Right. Are we going to be seeing the end of the chain gang as an effective rule?
No,
the NFL
still going to be there.
Trying a new optical referencing for when they get to the first down. It's almost, from what I've read, it almost looks like it's a bit like Hawkeye for cricket and tennis. So they can have, a more probably realistic reference going forward. What do we make of this? Is it about time the NFL comes forward with technology like this?
Yeah, because two people with a stick was getting old.
Yep.
It's tradition. What's old and what's tradition, isn't it? You've already got to look at our soccer over here with VAR. Everything was fine until that came in, and then that's very much on the fence. What do you reckon, Mr. P?
I think that's just kind of like, because there's so many, if we're going to compare it to like RBI, the problem's never going to be with technology, is it? Like, it's not. It's the problem is going to be with the people that's actually officiating it and actually having the final rule on it. So, because in professional sports there is so much money and there's so small fine margin of error, I think this is just like the natural progression of it. I mean, the chain crew, like Baby said, is still going to remain. It's not like it's going to go forever, but any help that the officials can get, right, it kind of like helps the game. It helps the flow of the game, and it kind of like gives a little bit of relief for the officials. I mean, because if anything, I mean, I do think that the NFL don't actively try and throw their officials under the bus, not like we do with our sports over here. Like, on Sky Sports News, if an official makes a mistake on one Manchester United game, well, because Sky Sports are owned by Manchester United fans, that's literally Monday and Tuesday's complete content 48 hours sorted.
Ref Watch, Dermot Gallagher will be absolutely killing him.
The NFL and the NFL Network don't really do the same thing. They go, yes, error, however, move on. And it just seems to be kind of accepted. So anything that, the game can have to make that officiating easier for the officials, I'm all for it. I think it's going to work going forward.
I mean, I think the best example of that has got to be, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago with the New Orleans Saints in the championship game, where they missed the... If that was football, people still... Stephen Warnock would still be talking about it if it was Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, the NFL are always... I'm very going, yeah, okay, we messed up. We will try and fix it. Yeah, FA are like... There's a carpet under. Let's brush it under that. I mean, it's diabolical. I mean, Mr. Perrins, you put something on your Twitter last week about the United when they should have penalty. 100%. I mean, that is. I'm a Man U or Newcastle. I'm a Man U fan, and I agree that was 100% penalty.
Yeah, I mean, being completely unbiased, Newcastle United, we were poor and we deserved to lose, but I mean the evidence was on what happened with Anthony Gordon and the evidence of the fact that he is now injured, because he didn't play in the last game of the season. So, it's not helping. But like you said, there's been some horrible things in the past with like officiating in the NFL, and the Shield, Goodell, does actively try and help the officials to help the game, because again, as long as he is making money, like the teams are making money, and as long as the league is doing well, he is doing well. So it's not like over here where you don't really hear much of a rebellion and sort of, it's time to get rid of Roger Goodell. The teams are like conspiring against him. Whilst our football over here, because there's so much disparity, you have teams that actively hate the Big Six, or they want to get rid of Richard Masters. I think what Roger Goodell is good at doing is he's good at being a leader, and he's good at trying to constantly improve. He's not trying to keep the game still, and I just really do applaud him for that.
No, completely. I mean, as long as the technology is used properly to make the game better, I'm 100% for it as well.
Yeah,
110% for it going forward. 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, that has come to the end of your Thursday night's entertainment with these four lovely people that I sit with, or three lovely people I sit with, and the wonderful James tonight, who we are incredibly lucky to have on tonight. Thank you very much, young man. You are more than welcome back on whenever you like. As always,
I think Shane's got something to say before we sign off.
Just before we go, again, I want to throw a huge shout out to our boys in Defects for giving us our new intro. Their new single Echo Chamber came out today and is fantastic. And as I've said, the new album Modern Era is out tomorrow. They will be playing Download Festival as well on the Friday on the 4th stage, I believe. If you're down there, give me a nod. I'll be there. Sorry, Mr. BH, as you were, please sign us off.
As I was saying, thank you. As always, you will be able to hear this show live on Spotify or Amazon or Google, wherever you get your podcasts from, Friday morning, 8:30, or you'll be able to see our wonderful faces. Well, three of you. This time next week, Thursday night, 8:30, live, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Till then, stay safe and good night.